So some of you have come across our book of Ramana Maharshi's teachings. This was published 2 years ago. It's turned out to be very, very popular. And just today, I can offer you the next book, which is Vichara, which is Self-Enquiry. Who am I? So this is the most well-known teaching from Ramana Maharshi. If you don't know, this is Ramana Maharshi. And most people consider him to be one of the most important modern teachers. So for the last probably 3 months, a small group of 7 people have been working very, very intensely on this book. And I can say tonight that it's finished, more or less. So it'll be finished in a couple more days. And we're arranging to print it in India, near where we're going for the retreat. So we'll arrive in Chennai and pick up the books and leave them in India. So we're printing enough for a couple of years. And then we're going to print some more books here. And we've discovered recently that the books that we sell in India need to be a bit smaller than the books that we sell in the West. They have different sort of standard sizes. So the ones we sell in India are a bit smaller than the ones we sell here. And of course, they also expect them to be much cheaper. And that's a bit more difficult because we like to make very good quality books. If you have a look before you leave in the bookcase in the downstairs room, you'll see a bookcase with lots of books. And if you look at them a bit closely, you'll see they're amazingly beautifully put together, beautifully designed. And so we actually like to sell them for quite a lot of money because they deserve to be sold for quite a lot of money. But in India, they don't have a lot of money, and they have an idea about what to spend on a book, and that's not very much. Yeah. So this is very nice because this material is very beautiful. And because we got so excited making 2 volumes, we're going to make a 3rd volume. And this 3rd volume is going to be about surrender. And so that we decided in the last few days that 3 books, we're going to put them in a box. So it'll be a box set of 3 volumes. And then these are Ramana Maharshi's teachings from about 83 years ago, 1936. And there's a big story about it because the manuscript was kind of lost, and then part of it was found again. And out of this big manuscript, which you can download on Amazon if you want, we've chosen and then formatted what we think of the best, most interesting parts of this big manuscript. So it's nothing for you, but it's something for me. So I just need to say that. So actually from this moment, this is the first moment I could kind of relax for about 2 months now. So it's kind of a nice moment. I might fall asleep even. If I fall off my chair, don't be surprised. So the best way, if you're interested to keep me awake, the best way of doing that would be to come and sit here, and then we have a dialogue together. And that way I probably won't fall asleep. So would there be somebody who has a question or somebody who'd just like to come and have a chat? You don't have to have any particular question. This is Shanti. She's one of our 2 cooks in the community. Very, very good cook from Holland. I mean, one of the interesting things about this book project, actually, I was thinking just the other day, is that we have 1 guy in Norway, we have 1 woman in Australia, 1 man in Switzerland, and where's the other one from? I think the rest of us are here, aren't we? Yeah. America, Australia, and Norway. international team. This is the beauty of the internet, of course, because you can do something like a book project and you don't really need to meet each other. You just send the texts backwards and forwards, and it works actually very well. Probably better through the internet than it does personally. You can't really cook like that, can you? Okay.
But I like to sit here.
It's very nice to sit here. Maybe you tell them how nice it is, yeah?
Yes.
It's very nice to sit here because you have the energy of everybody's eyes onto you. You know? This is one of the reasons. Very warm, yeah. This is why people like show business or acting, something like this, because when you're on the stage, you're looking out maybe at hundreds of people, and they're all looking at you, you know? And so you get a tremendous amount of energy. You see these guys these are some of our people from our house in Spain. You see, look how they're wrapped up, you see. It's not exactly what we expect from Spain, you know, but they're very wrapped up there. They obviously got no heaters on. I think it's warmer here in Germany, you know. I'm only wearing a shirt. So how are you progressing on your project to be a little bit less chaotic, let's say?
It has to do with time management of the cooking.
Management of the cooking?
Cooking,
oh,
yes.
Really?
If I have enough time to cook, and it doesn't have to be quick, right. Then it is more tidy up.
Really? Wow.
But sometimes in the end, when everything then it can be more chaotic. Yes. But how
is your room? Is it a bit chaotic?
It's a little bit chaotic.
Really?
I have too many papers and stuff. But, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I think we'll have to institute a kind of search party who goes around the rooms, from room to room.
Yeah. Who was it? Nataraj asked me, "Can I go into your room? Perhaps there in the attics are some books." And I was thinking, of course you can go to my room. And then, how did I left it? But before I left, I put a lot of papers under the bed. So that's a little bit like me. So then it looks, if you look inside, tidy.
Quick look, it looks
but I don't find much space to. I become a rentner now. I get my pension, and I have such much papers.
Oh, you've got to an age to get a pension?
Yes.
That's what, 65?
67.
67? You're 67?
I'm 67, yes.
Really?
Yes, really.
And that's recently?
Yeah, 5 December. 5th December.
Well, you're doing quite well for 67, yeah?
Yes, I think so.
You don't look so old. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite exciting, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's also quite a thing here in Germany, the paper mats.
You get pension from Germany or from Holland?
I get pension a little bit of Germany, and I have 3 pensions, but it is so little, you know.
Yeah.
10 euros a month or something from Holland.
Okay.
And another is more, and another is also very small.
All right. This is because you're very chaotic. They didn't want to give you any more money.
Yes, I worked here a short time, and I worked there a short time, and there a short time, but it makes it very complicated.
Yeah, we probably won't give you any pension at all.
So I'm still waiting on an answer.
We only give pensions if you're at least 90.
Yeah. But your text, I read it now different times, which you sent us.
Say it
The
again?
text what you sent us about self-inquiry,
Yeah.
that is, I do it now regularly the whole day.
Oh, okay.
So,
Very good. You'll get a much better result then.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That is.
And you're coming with us to India.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. You enjoyed last time, I think, huh? Doing the
I always like to go to India.
Yeah, but you enjoyed the cooking last time, I remember, because
Yes, it was not. Yeah, yeah. Because there were also Indian people who are cooking, so I'm not doing everything. That makes it so easier.
right.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. We've been going to the same small ashram in India for actually since 2000. So this is the 24th year. I think we've been every year, yeah? So 24, this is the 24th retreat. And there's a group of local village ladies who come and cook lunch for us every day. So we get an Indian lunch, chapatis and papadam and all this stuff, curry, of course. And these women have been coming, maybe not the whole 20, well, one or two of them have been coming the whole 20 odd years, but most of them have been coming at least 10 years. And we only show up for 3 weeks of the year, but they somehow they like us, and we probably offer an extra bonus on their income. And so we have a very nice group of ladies who come and cook for us. It's very, very sweet.
Yeah, very sweet. Yeah, very warm. Yeah. It was very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
And how's your Hindi? Are you going to Tamil? You have to
No,
speak
Tamil,
Tamil.
no, not at all. No, because in the beginning I was also a little bit confused about the names of the recipes or the meals, and what is what, but I give them also a little bit.
This is your second or third time?
No, I've been 3 times in India, but once I was the kitchen chef, and it is the second time that I'm the kitchen chef. And otherwise, I was helping in the kitchen with Pavati or with Shakti. Then they were the kitchen chef.
So what is the particular issue you're looking at these days?
What do you mean, in India?
No. Just in your life, darling, as you're cutting the potatoes or cooking the rice or something, what's going on with you?
What's going on with me? Now, my biggest issue is always that if things go on and on and on and on, and when things become too much, and then to ask help, and I'm mostly too late, so then I'm frustrated.
It's difficult to ask for help.
Yeah. Then I think everybody's busy in the guest house now. Shall I ask? Because then I come back. Yesterday, for example, with 7 dinges of shopping bags full, and then I can ask that they get it out of the car for me, that I don't carry everything. But then to ask, can you help me to put it everywhere where it should be? Then I think, they need. Then my mind is tricky, and then I think, okay, I can manage. But it is in fact too much if I also have to cook, and then to go for a kid, and then the day goes that I go from 1 to 2 to 2 to 2 to 2 till 12 o'clock, and then there is frustration, and I feel pissed off in myself, and that is.
But I think this is one of the nice qualities about a community, that there's always enough people somehow to do the things. You just have to involve them. Like with this book. While you've been doing the cooking, a few people have been making a book, completely new thing, and somehow.
In the evening, I could ask help. Then I said, "Oh, please!" I had also guest house breakfast.
Yeah, but you can simply ask when you need help, and then if there is somebody who's very, very busy, he won't be able to respond. But maybe there's somebody who
can help.
Has just already done what he had to do, and is looking for a new job. And
Yeah. But, so, yeah. Yeah, because yesterday I asked for help in the guest house breakfast, and I came back because I was forgotten something to buy, and then I come back and nearly everything was done, and then I feel so happy.
Okay. As you don't have anything to talk about, I'm going to give you a flower.
No, nice flower.
Yeah,
That's nice.
this is my way of kind of inviting you to go and sit down again. It happened spontaneously, 2 weeks ago, because I don't really want to say that's enough, because I know from my own experience it's not a very nice moment. So I dreamt up spontaneously the idea of giving flowers. So now we have special flowers that I can easily give out. They're not tied up anymore. Okay. So before this man came to the community to live, he was having a drumming school. What's the joke? I missed the joke.
I didn't come for this.
What did you come for then? You want a flower and then you'll go and sit down again?
Oh, okay, it's just...
You want to sit quietly, do you?
No, I think it was yesterday you sent us the foreword of the book.
Did I? Okay. Which one? From the
From
Delhi lady?
Yes.
Ah, well, you'll be very happy to know what happened today with her. Recently, we were looking for somebody to write a foreword to the book. And by a big accident, we came in contact with a beautiful young Indian woman living in Delhi who is a monk, so she wears orange clothes. And by chance, I watched her talking for 10 minutes in a video, and we all liked her a lot, yeah? And so today, she's written the foreword for the book, very nice quality, I would say. And I suddenly got the idea this morning as I woke up that we should invite her to come to the retreat. And she's accepted that idea. So she will be coming to the retreat. So it's very nice, I think, because, she's living in the Ramakrishna mission, which is in India is a famous kind of spiritual organization all through India. And I could say, for example, they attract sort of seriously interested people, you could say. And she's very vibrant and attractive woman, actually. And she's already travels to America. Maybe she even studied in America. I don't really know. I don't know her at all. But I was so touched from a particular talk, which I think everybody's seen, haven't you? The community, you've all seen it. Huh? We watched it together. Yeah. So this woman I invited, and she said, yes, great. Huh? Yeah. And I'm also invited to meet her in Delhi, because I'm going to spend a month traveling in India, and I'll be passing through Delhi on my way to Rishikesh. And then she's invited us to meet with her. And then my idea, of course, is that I'll invite her to come here. Let's see what happens. Acha. So is that what you wanted to talk about?
I was very, very deeply impressed or touched by this foreword.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then I looked for her in the YouTube, and she has loads of
Talks.
And it's very impressive. But what you pointed to on the bits of the book, I didn't know before. It's also really like a bomb. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. How she talks about these small quotations about self-inquiry. It's very strong.
Right. Yeah, I thought she chose very good, important
what
examples, and actually a bit unexpected, because basically what Ramana is saying in her choice is that it's all about love, actually.
Yeah.
because self-inquiry always feels a little bit intellectual, even though if you do it properly, it's not intellectual, but it's a bit intellectual. And, you know, from this master, he's finally saying, well, actually, it's all about love. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Very nice, yeah?
yeah, it's really very profound, really deep. Yeah, really.
And that's also why I'm inviting her, because somehow, out of being impressed by the film, I asked her to write the foreword, and out of the good foreword, I'm now inviting, you know, it's like step by step. Maybe she'll come every year now. Be nice to have somebody like that. And what was it that really impressed you in this text?
For example, as you said, there's this danger of to get too bit intellectual, to get hooked on these questions. And what she said, just stay in the inner sense of the I. Yeah, so this is the first step on, if it's possible, if you're quiet, then self-inquiry can come or something. And then the next thing is just to stay there. Yeah, to I don't know, it's not about doing, but it's about, sometimes it happens. Yeah, that there is, in a way it helped me. Yeah, that there's still something watching the eye, or something staying there. I don't know. Yeah. And this is something quiet and opening and also connected to love in a way, but in a very, very quiet way. But every word that I try to express doesn't come to the point.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
in one of the dialogues there was a Western guy who had come to the ashram, yeah, back in 1936. So I mean, if you make it to this kind of tropical, small tropical ashram, yeah, in the middle of India somewhere, or in the south of India, I mean, you come from Europe, you've got to have a really powerful kind of interest, yeah. And this man was there, and he was talking to Ramana, yeah. And then at some point he was saying, you know, it's very beautiful to sit here, and you talk so beautifully, and I'm very touched. I can't remember anything you say later, you know. And he said, doesn't matter.
yeah, that's it.
Be as you are. Don't worry. Just keep going. So you've been out looking for a gong today, or yesterday, huh?
Yes,
Gong?
and I found a wonderful shop, an import from China. They have a big storage room full of gongs, all sizes, all types.
Really? Wow.
And they sell it quite quickly, and then there comes a new delivery, and so on and so on. So that's the shop we need.
And where is this shop?
That's in the center of Cologne.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's not visible. It's in the backyard, and you can't see it from outside. And that's more like an import point.
So that big one that I liked the look of, just plain kind of
That's
beaten
from there.
metal.
It's
Yeah?
from
Was
there.
that a good sound?
Yes, yes.
And what kind of cost is it?
I think maybe it's around 1,000. I don't know. They have different sizes, and I need to ask them exactly.
Okay.
And they don't have stands, so maybe we need to.
They have a few stands?
No.
No?
No. Only
And
gongs.
they don't have any idea whether there's a shop full of stands?
No.
Seems a bit funny. If you sell gongs, you don't sell the things you have to hang on.
They have these stands. All the shops have stands, like a metal frame, metal here, metal bar there.
Yeah.
Just functional.
Yeah. I think we don't want that.
No, this is not. Yeah, but
We're looking for a very beautiful wooden gong frame, if anybody knows one. Anybody's got one under their bed and they'd like to flog it to us.
We need to do some, to make. It shouldn't be so difficult if there is a design.
No, we're not going to make it. No, definitely not. I want something that looks a bit old, a bit of character, darling. Bit of character.
Yeah.
Because these gongs look really beautiful, because they're kind of beaten metal. You can feel they're craft made. Well, the one I chose, which I like, is craft made. So it needs something similar thing to go together. It seems it's easier to get a gong than it is to get a stand for the gong.
Yeah, a beautiful stand, of course. Yeah. So then sometimes they do small gongs with very bad quality, and they have a nice traditional or kind of traditional frame. But
we don't really want a gong which is very small.
With the
very
small,
bad quality.
For the big ones, they have these strong metal stuff.
Yeah.
So keep on looking, and maybe we find some.
Right. But you don't want to talk about gongs. You only want to talk about this amazing material.
And you?
Well, the only thing that's happening for me is the feeling that I've almost finished this book.
Great,
now,
great.
Doing a book like this is enough to kill you, actually. There are various moments when I didn't actually, I don't think my health was in danger, but my sanity was in danger. Because when you're, we've been, the last few weeks we're in this kind of, is it a full stop or a comma? Is it a full stop or a comma? Not very exciting, really. And when you're going to do that for a few hours, is it a full stop or a comma?
I realized.
Makes you a bit cuckoo.
I'd love to have an e-book copy before you go to India, if it's possible. Is it possible? You have it digital anyhow, but you go to India and have the books then, and what happens to the people who stay here? Sure. Yeah?
He'll do it on the plane, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so we've almost got to flower time, I think. I don't know which one. Do you want to tell me which one you like the look of? Would you like one of these? They're quite nice.
Okay.
Get a special wire to prevent it from collapsing.
So I could use it also,
It's interesting.
So just before I collapse,
It's interesting how these particular flowers, they always have a wire on them. Have you noticed that? They're the only ones I've ever seen that have a wire, and they always have a wire. And then it makes me think, well, why doesn't the flower make itself strong enough, that it doesn't need a wire?
Because after it's cut, it's not so strong anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Enjoy your flower. You come for your flower or a talk?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's nice looking out.
Yeah. I wanted to come because I always avoid coming.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Why do you do that?
Yeah, this is a good question.
You're happy to sit here and sing.
Yeah, this is very different.
Yeah.
I feel there's a kind of scariness from groups. I feel this also in the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, but you're sitting there in front of the group singing. That's much worse, isn't it, than sitting here?
No, this is very easy because it just flows and it's just singing, and this is like it's more personal, like.
I see.
Yeah.
So have you got something interesting to talk about? Otherwise, I'd just start off by giving you a flower because you've maybe done what you came for. You know?
Yeah, it's not so bad actually.
I think we need some nicer flowers next week, please. We need a few more roses. Oh, there is one here. Okay, well, when you're ready, I'll give you the rose. Or maybe not. Depends how interesting you are.
Now I got some pressure. Now I need to be interesting.
I'm sure you've got lots to talk about. This is a resident who's been living here for 3 years. And before she came here, she had quite a lively lifestyle, which is still very much inside her mind. And so every day, this gradually squeezes out, you know, all these exciting things she did when she was a bit younger. Is that right? Something like that?
Yeah, happens. Maybe not with memories, but in the structure, how I react to situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is quite amazing, actually, how it affects you so strongly. And
I mean, one of the things that we're doing in this community for those people who are coming maybe the first time, I don't know, is that we're trying to live in presence, you know. We're trying to live day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment, in really being here. So when we're, you know, washing the dishes, we want to be really washing the dishes, you know. And when we're eating the food, we want to really be there eating the food, and so on. It's quite simple, really. And if you're able to achieve that, then your life changes in amazingly wonderful ways. Because when that's possible, it means that you have a connection to your very being, you know, your essence, if you like. And unfortunately, most of the time, most human beings are very busy with their mind. And they have minds maybe full of all kinds of issues, desires and philosophies or whatever it is, which have been, in a way, put onto them by their loving family or best friends or whatever, or just in the air in the society. So this is kind of called conditioning, you know, the condition, how we're conditioned. And we want to get rid of all that stuff because we want to be able to live in the moment. We want to live in freedom. Therefore, we need to get rid of all that nonsense. And unfortunately, most human beings are very much busy with all that nonsense. And in fact, don't even know that they could let that all go because it's not really very important. Because for many people, the past is somehow very, very important. So here in this community, whatever we're doing together, we take the situation and what the situation is bringing up inside of us, which is often some old something that is being triggered by this moment. Something from the past is being triggered by this moment. And then there's the possibility to be aware of the thing from the past and not let it kind of take you over. Because very often we remember something like, oh, that holiday I had in Turkey, you know. And then you remember, well, actually it wasn't such a great holiday because I was always fighting with my boyfriend, and so it wasn't such a good holiday. And then anyway, the weather was terrible. It was always raining and cold. And so it wasn't really a holiday in the end. And you kind of go back into all this sort of drama that happened maybe years ago in Turkey. For what? For what? It's all nonsense. It's all the past, all finished. And this is how most human beings actually choose to live their life. Well, they don't choose it. They just naturally do that because that's what everybody else is doing. But actually, the amazing truth is that you can remove all this old rubbish. So this lady has been here 3 years, and when she first came, she kind of staggered in through the door with all this old, strong things in her life, kind of weighing her down. Is that fair?
yeah.
And gradually she's been losing a lot of that old stuff. And as she loses it, almost day by day, you can see that her smile gets bigger. You know, It's kind of by itself. Now you can see she's got quite a good smile. So that's partly the result of living here for 3 years, and partly because anyway she's rather a nice human being. She's got a touch of Russian blood in her, and as you know, Russians are kind of quite nice people, as long as they're not the guys running the government, of course. But the ordinary Russians are pretty juicy people. So it's a combination of your birthright and your efforts, yeah? Because she puts a lot of effort into this process of letting go of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Before you came here, had you ever made a film? Not much.
Not really. Maybe small things, funny things with friends or something, but not really serious.
Because maybe about a year ago, we discovered by accident that she's got some ability to make films, put, images together. And so if you would look on my website of where we have the videos, you can find, I think, about 15 2 or 3 minute videos, because we know most modern Europeans can't watch much longer than 2 or 3 minutes. So we've particularly designed short films, yeah. I mean, we used to make films for an hour and a half, 90-minute films, and then we gradually realized nobody ever watches them because 90 minutes, well, I mean, nobody has that much time even. So now we only make, 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes is a long one, yeah.
Yeah.
And so because I had the feeling she's got a bit of a kind of creative spark about films, so now she's actually made 15 of these little films. And if you have a look on I think, are they on YouTube?
Yeah, they're all on YouTube, on the website,
Oh, they
on
were.
Instagram.
Instagram, every
Facebook.
one of those grams, you can find these films, yeah?
Mm.
And I think the last one she made was actually about this man, Ramana. What's it called?
Destiny with Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah, Destiny of Ramana Maharshi, which was coming out of a meeting I held 2 weeks ago in Spain. Suddenly a Spanish guy came into the meeting. I'd never seen him before, and he just arrived suddenly. And then it turned out that somehow he'd gone on the internet looking for some help with concentration. And somehow out of looking on the internet for concentration, he had come to Ramana Maharshi, and then somehow he came to me, because anyway I have a connection to him. So he found John David, and then he discovered I was having a meeting, so he came to the meeting. And then what happened next? I kind of challenged him, and I said, well, maybe this is destiny, kind of destiny happening for you. And then I said, well, are you okay here? And he said, yeah, I feel very good here, very good. So I said, okay, so what do you want? And it turned out he didn't want very much. I was offering him a trip to India, to the ashram of this man, but that was too much for him. So then I gave him a copy of a book. And that was kind of what he was up for, yeah?
Yeah, seems like it, yeah.
So that story, she put the visuals to that story. It's about 3 minutes, yeah? 2 minutes.
But yeah.
So now we're training her up, because there's one of the big 90-minute films. I've wanted to find somebody to do it already for years. In fact, Lakshmi's sitting there at the back. I even invited her daughter to do the film, but she didn't want. So now it looks like we can train this lady up for doing the film, yeah?
Yeah, I would really like to also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the first, I think, 10 minutes or something were done already.
Right.
I saw it last year or 2 years ago, and it was really touching. Very quiet energy, and also to work with this material and so on. I would really like to do it.
Right. Yeah, well, it's coming.
Keep going.
You just need to get rid of a bit more of your old bullshit, and then it's coming.
Yeah.
So when you look back over this 3 years, what would you say? What would you see yourself going through? I mean, what's been touching you for this 3 years?
I think it's really this not getting hooked up with past or with thoughts in general. Like, I mean, I did spiritual stuff before, always like meditation or yoga, but this kind of being present and to not be identified with this person, like this was very new. That there's not this person you always thought you are, and yeah, so this is touching me, and it's touching me still, and I'm also touched how fucking difficult it is. Like, so you can understand it with your mind, yeah, but it's like sometimes I'm really annoyed also, like why is it so strong? Yeah? Why is it so scary also? So scary to let it go. Because I can really feel sometimes there comes this energy and I become very present, and there is something which is very scary, which feels like I will lose something very important, kind of.
Yeah, all these old memories of the past.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
And most of the ones that you were remembering 2 years ago were all kind of negative stuff, yeah?
Yes.
Drug
very
stories
heavy.
and sex stories and all kind of not very pleasant things, which may or may not even have been true, but you believe them to be true. Yeah? You believe them as your past, your terrible past. And now it's like gradually you're not going there anymore, so you're much more present here now.
Yeah, well, when I'm going there, I'm more quickly going out again.
Yeah.
So this is changing very, very much, and also that there's a kind of focus more into the inside, more awareness when the mind is going outside or reactions
Did you
outside.
notice a very nice moment when I asked her to look at what had been touching her for the last 3 years? She didn't answer me. Did you notice? She closed her eyes and she was looking inside, you know. This is not a normal way to behave, actually. Most people don't close their eyes and look inside. Most people start talking immediately. You see? So this change of always kind of, you know, like this on the outside, to actually be able to go inside and be aware about what's going on inside you, this is actually already an enormous step, you see. Hardly any human beings ever achieve that step, actually. Just to be able to look inside and see what's happening there. It's already, I mean, it sounds, when I talk about it, it sounds not much, but you try to do it, it's not easy. And maybe some of our guests who I haven't met before, maybe you don't even see why you would want to do that. But if you come and sit here, I'll try to tell you why. And this also has other effects, you see, because if you're more present now, then, for example, she was singing at the beginning of the meeting, yeah? So she's gradually been developing this mantra singing. I don't believe 3 years ago you were much of a mantra singer, were you?
I didn't sing at all. I thought my voice is not really good. It was like this, what can I say? I had my best friend was a really musician, yeah, like really great musician. So of course, next to her, I felt like nothing really.
Yeah, because you compare yourself on the outside with somebody else. Yeah? So of course, if you do that, there's always going to be somebody better.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, so this is very beautiful. Out of being present and out of letting some of the old nonsense disappear, she could start singing, even though she had the idea she's not a good singer. And then probably people told her how nice her singing was. And gradually she got the confidence to come and sit here in the beginning of the meeting and enjoy singing. And I think probably you noticed she was very relaxed and it was all very nice energy, actually.
Yeah, I really like it. I really love it. I can really, it's like my deepest meditation, I would say, when I'm in this music, because it's really empty.
You should send your music to your friend who used to be so good.
Yeah,
see what she has to say about it.
I send her often things, yeah.
What did she say?
Yeah, it's great. She always supported me. She always wanted to do music with me and was like, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, well, I
Flower
think you've got
time.
through the flower time now. Here we are. You get the rose for being a
Wow.
good singer and a good filmmaker, creative person.
Thanks.
Not interested in her old bullshit. Only a bit interested, let's say. Has it got a smell?
Yes, a bit. But also thorns.
Oh, thorns. Oh.
Perfect flower for me.
Okay, I don't think I can smell it.
Oh,
I don't think I've had time to tell you. I thought you were very good in the theatre last weekend. Yeah? Did you enjoy that?
yeah.
You were very confident and you looked very good and you said all the right things and seemed to have a natural talent for acting.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising for me that when I stood there in the beginning, just standing there quietly, it was so enjoyable. And yeah, I really liked it. Yeah. Even looked at it already. What
And
I
had
really
you done
don't like.
acting before?
No, like with Indira, the spontaneous theater, but
Yeah.
no acting. I was extremely afraid of acting before I came to the transformation week. Like when it happened the first, it's not really acting with her, but yeah.
I can't help remembering that yesterday one of my daughters went to an art school, goes to an arts class, you know. And apparently in this art class, the teacher says, okay, today we're going to do this project and you're going to get this paper and you're going to cut it up and you'll paint something, or she gives a project, yeah? And my daughter, apparently, it's reported to me that my daughter never does what the teacher suggests, you see? And on the face of it, that's a bit, you know, something. But this week, yesterday, she sat there and got some gold paper, gold cardboard, and she cut out a little small thing, maybe like this sort of size, and she cut a kind of hole into this thing, like a little ball with a hole in it, but in a sort of artistic way. And she gave it to the art teacher and said, I'd like to give you an earring, right? An earring. And the teacher already had a little earring, so she fixed this quite big golden cardboard thing onto her earring and wore it for the whole afternoon. And so now she's like, well, you know, it's like she likes to do what she likes to do. And this is, for me personally, very touching because it seems to me that's the most beautiful thing, that human beings do what they want to do, you know. So I wouldn't even dare to tell my daughter, you know, you should do that or you should do this, because I know already, because I've tried it in the past. I tried to teach her to paint at some idea, you know, and you've got to have clean water, very important, you know, you put your brush. She never was interested. It was like, go away, Papa, go away. And she just does her thing. And for a long time, it was not very exciting. But when I saw this earring she made, it's completely lovely. I could imagine this teacher will keep this because it actually looks very good. And it's a really big thing, you know, which you wouldn't normally have as an earring, maybe. But it's so cute, you know. And she did it completely out of her own idea. She just made this thing and gave it to the teacher. I mean, I was completely shocked when I saw the picture. So this is such a beautiful creativity that out of your own inner being, you express what you want to express in any moment, because she went on and did 2 other paintings, which are also very nice.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, but this is where you have to stop wishing, darling. You don't have to wish. You just do it, you know? You don't have to wish. Like, this girl didn't sing 3 years ago because she thought she couldn't sing well enough. And now, 3 years later, she's a very good singer and everybody enjoys her singing. Yeah? So you just have to do it, you know. And unfortunately, we're so scary about being creative. Yeah? We're very scary about it. Many of us. My daughter doesn't seem to be, but
Yeah,
you were very good at
definitely, yeah.
theatre. I wanted to tell you because I thought you were very good. You know, because you had a certain
you.
kind of presence.
Mm. Yeah, it felt also very, very good, and I enjoyed it very much. Don't know what
Now
to do
you
with
found
it,
a
but
way you can express your creativity, because it doesn't really matter what form it is. You can sing, you can play music, you can dance, you can do acting. Many ways to express it.
yeah,
Because
maybe
you
I
have
find a
this
way
issue,
through that.
don't you? You have this issue.
With the creativity.
No, he has an issue about not being good enough.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. It's Mr. Not
I mean,
Mr. Not Good Enough. But if you come back in a few years, he won't be like that anymore.
I mean, I was just buying a Christmas tree and also buying it because it's like something that's coming from you.
Yeah.
There was already that fear, will it be a good enough tree, yeah? It's amazing.
Well, I can tell you, I'll tell you now, it won't be good enough.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, I really like it, so now it doesn't really matter, but now I really found a great tree.
The only thing you have to do is to make sure it's not higher than the ceiling.
Yeah, I measured that before.
Right. You see, you're a clever guy. You measured it, and the tree probably is not taller than the ceiling. But otherwise, you can't really go wrong, you know, with a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But you also have to see this mechanism where, you know, you were asked to go and buy a Christmas tree, and then you're putting yourself in a sort of fear space. The boss may not like it, you know, or Daddy may not like it. Actually, I'll tell you a secret. Daddy doesn't care much about Christmas trees. Sorry.
Yeah, but kind of also yesterday when you just called me and I should get Birgit from the kitchen, there's already my complete system is switching into kind of panic mode. Like now I have to
walk to the kitchen.
Oh, I need to do it. And it needs to work out perfectly. Yeah, it's like a total switch where my whole system is getting into a total, and I just try to be with it. And I mean,
of course, this is a very common nightmare, yeah? It's called male authority issue or something, yeah? We all tend to have an issue with our daddy, and then when somebody like me, I get projected on by everybody that I'm their horrible daddy, yeah? You've got to impress me, you've got to do it right. And
yeah, I can see that thing. It takes time, I guess.
But I think after a while you won't care about that anymore.
I just...
you have to see how you're putting yourself outside, you know, and then making yourself small. Of course you can walk to the kitchen and tell somebody, you know, it's not really a very demanding job you got, you know.
But it really throws me extremely.
And normally I wouldn't have called you, but I tried a few other people, like they're all out of the house or something. I couldn't get anybody else to do it except you. So I was very happy you could do it.
Big job.
Big job, yeah. Well, we'll find a bigger job for you. What would you like to do? Are you busy tomorrow? Because Kiran needs a helper. He's going to do some work in the darkness cellar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had somebody in the darkness cellar complaining about the lack of light down, too much light in the darkness, you know. So now we're going to have to fix it, and he's going to fix it tomorrow. He's looking for a handyman to help him. Maybe this one is possible. This one's going on holiday with his beloved. Is that right? He doesn't hear. He doesn't understand English, so it's okay. The next time you come in the darkness cellar, it'll all be perfect. We're going to put a wall down the staircase and a special curtain. It'll be completely dark. You won't even be able to see your nose or feel your nose. It'll be black, pitch black. The heater. The heater. We're going to cover the heater. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
It'll be German style perfect.
Yeah, there's another thing that, during this not good enough a few days ago, activation. I don't know which situation it was. Something with you.
With me, a few days ago.
Who else? Yeah. something else is really coming very strongly, and I was very thrown out by it, like every 20 seconds through the last days, which is a kind of obsession. It feels pretty obsessive because it's so strong, with the idea of, it's a connection between the idea of a love relationship and the shame to be interested in someone.
Can you explain that? What do
So
you mean the shame to be interested?
the shame to show the interest. Like, I remember the first time I had almost a girlfriend when I was like 6.
6?
Didn't become a girlfriend, but I already had this. Maybe it's natural. I already had this shame to express what Amelia didn't have with the boy when he came. I already had this when I was pretty young, to have this, to express what I feel for someone. So there's this shame about my emotions for
Amelia,
someone.
when she was in the kindergarten, she was taking a little boy into the toilet and they taking each other's clothes off. And I mean, she's already been active for years, since the kindergarten.
No, I mean, when the boy was here, she was
Yeah, the other
very
boy.
directly.
Yeah, and now she's fallen in love with one of the boys in her class. Now she's 8, and he was invited here, and I didn't see what happened. But apparently, she was so nervous about him arriving, and everything had to be special. And did you see that? It was.
No, I just heard about it. I
Oh, you
wasn't
heard
there. No.
But I think, unfortunately, almost everybody has been, in a way, divided inside against themselves, Almost everybody, So many people have the idea that they're not good enough because they're always been comparing themselves, like she was comparing with her best friend, and then she decided, I can't sing because my best friend's very good, and so I can't be like that. And it's just completely ridiculous. Every human being is invited to this planet to be as you are, right? Just be as you are. You don't have to be better than you are. You don't have to be like the guy down the street. You just be as you are. And if you start more being as you are, then worrying about whether John David likes your Christmas tree is just disappears, basically, because it's just silly. And if I don't like your Christmas tree, I'll be happily telling you I don't like your Christmas tree. But who cares about the Christmas tree? It's not going to be a big deal, is it?
No, but I wish there were more situations when I frustrate people.
Say that again, what?
I wish something again.
You wish what? What is he
Because
wishing?
most of the stuff that I do works out pretty well.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have the idea that if I weren't doing stuff so good, I could more face these.
Yeah. Well, what
issues.
about the time you had this thing in the guest house?
Oh, that was amazing.
When you had these guests who came and then they left very quickly, and then they wrote a horrible review that the house was smelling or something, and then you then got pissed off with them, and then it all got a bit horrible, and then we were banned by Booking.com for 2 weeks or something. What about that? That was a bit of a piss up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're not
very, very
perfect.
intense,
You're not a perfect human being, I'm afraid.
No,
I mean, they're all perfect, of course. They're all sitting there. They all look very perfect. But you, well, I mean, I'm sorry, you're just not perfect enough.
it was very intense
But
time.
I've met your sister, and she doesn't seem to have this issue that you have.
No, yeah, actually she has.
Has she?
This perfection issue she also has.
Because I met her for an hour's chat or something, and we had a very easy chat, actually. She seemed very open, and we agreed on lots of things about people, and she didn't seem to have any authority issue.
The authority issue maybe not, but the perfectionist issue is one of her points. Like, is she trying to... The same with me with the Christmas tree, kind of. With her baby, she's doing so amazingly well with the baby, but still has these thoughts, a lot of thoughts about, is she doing it good enough, right, in a perfect way.
But every mother has that, I think. It's a tough job being a mother if you've never done it before.
Yeah, about the authority issue with her, I don't know.
I
She's
didn't
coming
have
soon,
any
so you
sense
can
of
tell
her having an authority issue. Maybe if she came to live here, she might. Then it might change, but I mean, most of the time we talk about this, so I mean, it's gradually going to dissolve itself, this issue.
That's I already feel like. I mean, I can recall the situation again when we acted out my authority issue. Since then, something, I don't know what happened in my brain, but something softened up. Yeah. So I just need to throw me more and more in these situations.
Yeah, and the way out of that is just to allow yourself the confidence that you're okay and you're as good as you can be, because you're, whatever you are, she's good at making films. Maybe that's not your talent. Maybe you're good at acting. So everybody's got their thing, and there's no need to compare ourselves. This is one of the problems. We're always comparing. Am I higher or am I lower? Stuff. And this is one of the beauties, that after years of work on yourself, you'll find yourself being much more present. And when you're present, all these old sort of structures about, am I good enough? I can't be as good as him, or he's better than me. Or all this stuff just disappears. To live without all that, of course, is really wonderful.
Can't wait. I mean, there's so much that has changed already, but it's still.
I mean,
so much.
Don't you
still
feel
here.
with somebody like Carly, you can feel that this has been happening to her, yeah? Do you feel how she's? Well, you didn't know her 3 years ago.
Yeah, I
of
didn't know
course.
her 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But I heard a lot of stuff, so
Yeah, and you
it's
wouldn't
amazing.
You wouldn't want to learn. You wouldn't want to know her 3 years ago. Well, maybe you would. I don't know. Okay, maybe one of our guests are going to rush up here. That was good, yeah? Very good move, very good move. Very impressed. So he sees already something's happening. So there's a few guests tonight who I don't know so well. Would one of you like to come? I mean, it's not really scary. Once you're here, you'll find it's very nice. Okay. So this lady, I don't know her at all, but she's been sitting in our darkness cellar for 3 days?
No, only 2.
2 days, okay.
After the cave, we had a little talk, and now I thought I would like to ask you, because it's really funny, because in the cave I felt quite good, but now since I'm out, I feel like a deer in headlights, and my heart is really like oscillating. It doesn't feel like it's beating. It's like like a colibri, and yeah, it's really strange. I feel quite out of it. So
yeah, but one thing you may not have noticed, because you're kind of focused on going into the cellar.
Yeah.
But actually, in this community, because we've been here for 20 odd years, actually there's quite a big energy field. There's quite a strong energy field here. Mm-hmm. And you may not have noticed that because you're maybe more focused on the looking in the cellar, but probably you're being affected by this energy field.
Okay.
And that's actually very positive, because if you're being affected by the energy field, then it means that you're kind of ready to be affected. It's like it's happening because you're ready, and you're already a sensitive person who has the capacity to be touched from the energy. Mm-hmm. And there is a strong energy here.
Yeah, I feel really it's almost nauseating, So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just something's happening.
Yeah, and maybe you're not so used to that. So
Yeah.
as you're in this boring old yoga place we talked about. She's been living for 2.5 years in that terrible yoga place. What's it called? Yeah. And we had a chat after she came out of her cave. We had a chat, and then she was telling me that this is really a boring place. And then I said, well, but you've been living for 2.5 years. Why do you stay then if it's so?
I didn't know.
You don't really have an answer for that. No. Maybe you just like boring places. It's possible.
Yeah, maybe I needed a boring place in between, you know.
The next place will be very interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm preparing for it. Do you have any suggestions for this?
Best thing is to leave quickly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm leaving in
longer
the
you-
morning.
Well, leaving in the morning might not be quick enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just stay nauseated for.
You might have a wonderful night here and have amazing things happening, and you know.
No, I'm sure I will
I mean,
come
this
back.
man who was just talking to me, he came. When was it? In February. He came in February. Actually, these two sitting next to each other, they both came in February, and they took part in what we call a transformation week.
Mm-hmm.
So people come for 1 week, and they just work in the community in the daytime. They do the meditations, and then in the evening we have a sort of special program. And they both came in for that week in February.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the week, they couldn't leave, and they're still here.
No, I'm sure I will come back. So that's all
Well,
right.
I mean, people who
If
tell
you-
me
if
that,
you let me.
anybody who says to me, I'm sure I'll come back, I don't really believe you. If you're really going to come back, you wouldn't be able to leave. They couldn't leave. They're still here.
Okay. But I usually come if I tell people so. So, but we will see. We will see.
Anyway, I'm leaving soon, so I won't be available even for the next 3 months. So I'm going on my annual holidays. I have to go to India once a year, to deal with all this energy in Europe. Europeans are not so easy. So I go and spend a couple of months in India to recharge my spiritual batteries.
But you take all the Europeans with you?
Not all of them. No, I leave some here. Leave a few. Especially the ones in yoga video. I leave all them. But this lady was telling me she's been living in the forest somewhere, in a hut or a small wooden house maybe, for 8 years. I was very impressed about that. Were you living there alone, or you were there?
No, I was living with the ranger.
You were with the ranger. Were
Yeah.
you his sort of special friend?
No,
No?
no, not at all. I was kind of his hermit.
You were his hermit.
Yeah, I was looking out for the sheep, for the dogs, and
Yeah.
when he was away, and I could live
Okay.
there very cheap.
Right.
Yeah, it was great.
In the middle of the forest, you weren't tempted to do the things that people sometimes do when they're in the middle of the forest?
What are they doing usually?
Well, if one is a boy and one is a girl,
Okay.
maybe that's a clue, it's a clue for you. In the middle of the forest, in a small hut, nobody around, and there's a man and a woman together, then there's a few possibilities.
No.
No?
No.
You'll have to talk to my daughter. She'll make it clear for you.
Okay.
No, I think you'll find when you go away tomorrow that after a few days, you'll sort of find something about this place touching you, I think.
Yeah.
Because over the 20 years we've had the community, naturally many people came and then many people left,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would say it's a bit like making whiskey, you have to keep on processing it,
Mm-hmm.
So people leave and then we get hopefully better people coming.
Yeah.
Better in the sense that they're more interested in what we're offering.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's interested.
Yeah. No, I can feel something's happening with me. It touched me. Yeah.
ready for a flower.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay. Do you like white flowers? One of these.
Oh,
These
lily.
are quite nice. I can't smell it at all.
so much.
Does it have a smell? Do they have a smell?
They have this. Usually, they have a strong smell, but
Do they?
no,
No?
no, not at all. But thank you.
So we need flowers which have a smell as well, I think, guys. So, Kiran, why don't you chat to that lady behind you and ask her if she'd like to come here? Yes, yes, come. Hmm? No? It doesn't make any difference. You're a human being. First time, second time. What?
I don't feel very comfortable to sit in front.
Okay. Oh, somebody else I don't know. Hello. Oh. What's your name?
I'm Tony.
Tony.
I'm living nearby.
Oh, really?
I have today my first vacation day.
First vacation in your life.
No, in this year now, for this year, for the
this
end
year?
of the year. And why not start the silent days, silent nights to come to here to get some inspiration.
And do you live in the village here?
No, in nearby Düsseldorf.
Oh, okay, right. And you heard about us somehow.
I saw your film. I was on the internet, saw the movies, and it was very interesting for me. I'm interested in inner work, doing meditation for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which film did you see?
Your film, Grundlos glücklich?
Pointless Joy. Okay. We have 8 films. You'd be.
Oh, okay.
So if you get interested, we've got lots more to show you. And then you can see these little films that she made. They're rather good because they introduce certain topics. Yeah. But that film is quite good film. That's our last major film, you can say. And was there anything in particular in that film that touched you?
It was nothing new for me because I'm doing this inner work for a few years, but I get some new inspiration and maybe to think about some things deeper in another way. I'm reading a lot of books. I'm interested in this books maybe.
You haven't seen this Orange book?
No, not yet.
I mean, if you're interested, we have them in the front of the house there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this one will be available in February, I think. Yeah, February.
I saw some of your YouTube videos where you are interviewing the masters or the people.
Yeah, this was very lovely. About 15 years ago, I traveled. First, I traveled in India and interviewed Indian masters, and then I traveled in Europe and interviewed European masters. Yeah. Was there a particular interview that touched you?
Not a particular at all. I have no real questions and nothing to talk about, but you invited the guests and then I thought...
Sure, no, well, we'll definitely find something in a minute. It's already, something is already... But you're pretty relaxed sitting here now, yeah? You can meet the people through your eye contact, I think, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty relaxed, yes, sure. It's not easy for me to sit for a lot of people and then talk English. It's not my native speak, so it's.
But you speak quite good, actually.
Oh, I'll try. Thanks.
And have you had a teacher in your life? I mean, you've done a lot of meditation, it seems, but do you work also with a teacher who gives you some guidance?
Only with books.
Only through books.
I started to read books from John Kabat-Zinn, if you know him. If I spell the name correct.
John
Kabat-Zinn, American guy. He built up the stress reduction clinic in Massachusetts,
Okay.
and doing meditation, body scan, yoga.
Okay.
We have in Germany some teachers of YouTube, Peter Beer, Christian Bischoff. I read the books and saw the videos.
I think you've chosen all the ones I don't know, actually.
Pardon?
I think you've chosen all the ones that I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
So what is your suggestion to go deeper into the journey, to
Well, I think, you see, if you've been doing meditation for quite a long time, which you seem to be doing, and you have a good understanding of the basic things, I would say the most important thing if you want to go on is to have a teacher. And this is not very popular in Europe. We have the idea in Europe that I can do it myself. Yeah. But actually you can't, depending on how deep you want to go. You know? If you really want to go deep, you definitely need a teacher. And all the great teachers, like, for example, this man, Ramana Maharshi, he actually didn't have a teacher. Oh, he didn't have a teacher, but he would advise everybody to have a teacher. And also an alive teacher. Because one of the kind of crafty cop-outs is to find a dead teacher. Because dead teachers are very convenient because they can never really give you a hard time, yeah? You can project onto the dead ones whatever you want, yeah? Whereas living ones can tell you things you don't want to hear. Mm-hmm. So that's probably a very good teacher who tells you things you don't want to hear. Because if you have a teacher who always tells you what you want to hear, that may not be really provoking anything. So I would recommend finding a teacher who you don't completely like, but you can see that he has the potential to kind of provoke you. Mm-hmm. Because if you read a lot of books, you're probably now ready not to read any books. Because books are very good in one way, but at a certain point they're not really helpful anymore. And then that's when a teacher becomes pretty essential if you want to make a progress. Mm-hmm. But of course, here in Europe, we have a strong idea. We don't want somebody in our lives telling us what to do. You know? Not that teachers necessarily tell you what to do, but they could tell you what to do, or they could tell you what not to do, maybe. Maybe that's more likely. But we have in Europe, there's a sort of general tendency not to want to have a teacher. And especially not a teacher who's got a community. That's even more dangerous. Because that's really like a lot of things could happen if you lived in a community with a teacher. And so that's really a dangerous situation. So we've never had more than about 18 people living here. Because somehow the combination of a teacher and a community is too dangerous for most people.
Why is this so?
Because something might really change. Most people don't want to change. They want to just keep perpetuating whatever they think their beliefs are, or their philosophy is, or their knowledge is. You know? They don't really want to be provoked.
But if you are interested in doing progress, you have to step out of your comfort zone.
But you haven't got a teacher, so are you ready to be made uncomfortable? You see, are you really ready for that? I mean, I can certainly recommend myself because I'm very, I kind of specialize in provoking people and disturbing them, and, you know, so I mean, but I'm not personally saying, you know, that you should become my student or something, but you need somebody like me who's a bit of a, you know, whatever, difficult person, I would say.
Well, you're right. In Germany, there are not so many options.
Well, quite a few pass through Germany. Maybe they don't live in Germany, but I think quite a lot of people come to Germany because actually, I mean, when I came to Germany 20 odd years ago, I came without any idea really, because I'd been living out of Europe for many years. And so when I came to Europe, I was expecting to go and live in England because that's my own country. And I wouldn't have ever chosen Germany because, you know, England and Germany have a bit of a story together. But I ended up in Germany, you know, so what to do? So then I'm still here, 22 years later. So I guess I was meant to be in Germany. And after a few years, I discovered that probably there are more people in Germany interested in going on an inner journey than almost any other country. France, nobody's interested. Or they might be interested in a bit of Buddhism, but that's all. England, they're all asleep anyway because they think they're the best. You know. Tragedy for England that they won that war because now they don't feel they need to do anything in England. You know, they're like, oh, we're the best, you know. And the nice thing about Germans is that because you lost the war, there is a feeling that we have to do something, you know. And the German people also are very sincere about what they do, you know. So this is also very nice for a teacher because, for example, before I came to Germany, I was living in Australia. And I had students in Australia. I started teaching actually in Australia, in Sydney. And I had a bunch of students, but they never really did what I suggested, you know. Nothing really happened because they would rather go and have a beer and go on the beach in the evening, you know. It's a very nice climate there in Sydney, you know. They have lovely beaches, go surfing, whatever, you know. So I discovered that they weren't really that interested. And then I came to Germany, and immediately people were doing the stuff I was suggesting, and then they were getting good results from it. So it was actually very lovely. And after that, probably my destiny was to stay in Germany. So actually, I can admire German people because they actually have a certain kind of integrity, and maybe it's the right word, kind of integrity. And this is very attractive for a teacher because if you're trying to teach people, I was in Spain. Was there any Spanish here? So I was in Spain last week, and we had about 30 people for the weekend. And I mean, you can't teach them anything. They never stop talking. They're never even able to listen because they're always talking so much. Mm-hmm. But Germans are not like that. I mean, they talk, of course, but they're also ready to listen and maybe, you know, give a space for something new to come in. I mean, from what you're saying, you're kind of ripe for something new to come in. So you're kind of ripe for a teacher. And probably all your reading and internet and so on has brought you a lot of knowledge and you've come to a certain level. But then to actually bring that knowledge into your daily life is another big step, actually. Mm-hmm. What is your kind of daily work?
I'm an office guy. I'm dealing with figures in a
like
big
accounting or
accounting, controlling,
right,
in a big international company in Germany.
Right. So that gives you a very good life, but it's not exactly the work that will help you to lose your mind. Yeah?
No, it's exactly the way I want to work. After I did I understand what I'm interested in. So I choose this job now to be fully with my qualities, with my inner things that I want to do. But that was also a journey to know, to have this knowledge, what I'm interested in. So if you're doing a lot of work and you are not interested in it, it's stressful, yeah. But if you're doing a lot of work and you are interested in, then that's passion. You know what I mean? And
so you have a passion for accounting.
Yes.
It's possible, is it, to have a passion for accounting? Sorry, I shouldn't.
It's not only the accounting; it's the way what comes out at the end, yeah, to make companies successful. Yeah.
Okay, right. Mm-hmm. So when I say something a bit provoking you, how does that feel inside?
Good.
It's all right?
Yeah.
Okay, I better try a bit harder, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. why I'm very happy that there are counselors around who are passionately into what they're doing, because sometimes I have students who are doing something a bit similar maybe to you, and they're not so passionate as you are about it. But I mean, what I was saying before, I mean, I think it's very lovely if you're really choosing that and you get you have a passion for that, and it works for you, and it, of course, probably financially it gives you a good support to have time to go to retreats or whatever you want to do, buy your books or something. So that's very nice. And if it gives you more than that, a sense of accomplishment, and it feels inside that you're doing something worthwhile and so on, then that's actually very lovely, because you've chosen that. And everybody has a different kind of character and they choose different kinds of things, so it's okay. Have we got some flower time?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Do you have any preferences? Oh, this one.
I think I like the blue one.
You like the blue one? Oh, that's the one that I was... Oh, it's a bit unusual. What is this? What is it called, this flower? You know what it is? Our flower lady doesn't know, but anyway, the blue is very nice. Huh? Very nice color.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Okay, so there are a few other people who don't normally sit here. There's a lady hiding behind her. Didn't you spend some time here a few months ago? Have you been here before? You were? You were here for 2 months. Do you want to come and talk? You don't have to. I think you left suddenly, didn't you? Because you had enough of us. Yeah. So I guess my question is, as you left suddenly because you had too much of us or enough of us, what made you come back tonight?
I just look at Instagram and I saw that the Satsang is this evening, so I came here spontaneously.
Okay. And what was it that drew you, do you think? Because I think when you left, you kind of had enough of us, if I remember.
What, please?
When you left, you had enough, yeah? So there must be some reason why you would come back, because it's about 6 months ago or 8 months ago. Or was it a year ago? I don't really remember.
I think it was last year in December, before December. So before you go to India, I left.
Okay.
So in this time, when I was here, I do a lot of Kundalini activation. I think you remember. And so I can't do it here. And this passion in me was so big that I have to go and do it.
Okay, and you've been doing it, have you?
I did it. Yeah.
Are you still doing it?
I'm still doing it, yeah. It was not the enlightenment that I thought I found in it.
Say it again, what?
So I thought that I find enlightenment
Through Kundalini?
Through Kundalini, yeah.
And who gave you that idea?
For me, it's very still when I do this, but it's like a yoga practice or a meditation for me. So it's not.
You feel silent for a short time, and then the mind comes back again. Yeah? So maybe now you come to understand the problem is to reduce the volume of thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's about energy actually, because maybe you coming here now, maybe you can feel the energy here. We have strong energy here, strong energy field. So it's about energy. So it's not wrong to do Kundalini work, but it doesn't bring you to anything near enlightenment because you've still got all your stuff.
Yeah.
So if you've now been discovering that over this year, doing a lot of Kundalini, and then you discover that it doesn't bring you really closer to your own being, then it's good to do Kundalini work, but it's not going to bring you what you want. I don't know what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you want?
Mm-hmm. I just want to be present all the time. That's all I want. But I forget it too much.
Yeah, because it's really difficult. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Because there's so many things to take us away from this moment. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So that although it's kind of very simple, it's so simple, but on the other hand, it's almost impossible to achieve. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was just telling this guy that having a teacher who directs you away from things that don't help you so much, mm-hmm. because probably, I don't know if I spoke to you about your Kundalini, in those days I probably didn't really feel that was such a great benefit to do this Kundalini. Mm-hmm. You know?
I'm very scared of feelings.
Of what?
Of feelings.
Feelings?
Yeah. And when I have a teacher and I can do things I want to do, these feelings are so strong that it scares me a lot.
Yeah, but you have to ask yourself, why do I feel so strongly mm-hmm. when I are asked to do something that I don't want to do? What is it that's so strong inside me? Because it's all to do with you. It's not to do with the teacher. Mm-hmm. It's to do with you. So you have an issue to do with being told things, yeah? So you can find out what that is and release it out of you. You had a bossy mummy or a bossy daddy, yeah. Maybe, or they're both bossy?
Very bossy mummy.
Huh?
A very bossy mummy, yeah.
Very bossy mummy. So yeah. There you are. You see, you've got a very bossy mummy. Mm-hmm. And then when you were younger, you were always somehow resisting her bossiness. And the only way, in the end, you could escape from that is to decide, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so you were actively doing this Kundalini because that's something you wanted to do. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And by doing that, apparently you could avoid some feelings. Yeah? But sometimes you're going to have to deal with all these feelings you have. Yeah? They're still there inside you. And until you deal with those old feelings, you're not going to come to what you want. You won't come to presence without getting rid of that stuff. Which you perhaps don't want to hear me saying that to you, but that's true.
But it feels good.
Hmm?
When you say it, it feels very good.
Yeah.
So it opens up my heart.
Right. Okay.
I can understand.
I mean, I'm not clever to say those things, but it happens through me that I say things that are actually true. Mm-hmm. But people are not so keen to be told anything, basically, because our whole ethos in the society in Europe is this thing about, I want to do my own life, leave me alone, I'm going to do my own life. But not everybody is like that, and it a little bit depends on the kind of family or the kind of parents you have. Because, I have maybe you met them before. I have 8-year-old daughters, two daughters, 8 years old. And I think I'm very careful with them to let them be, and not to try to have any real strong influence on. You should do that and not do that. I tell this story about one of the daughters a few years ago wanted me to buy her a book for Christmas about being a policewoman, because her ambition at that time was to be a policewoman. Yeah? She thought that being a policewoman would allow her to kind of be bossy to people, Mm-hmm. Police kind of boss people. So she liked the idea of being bossy, because I'm bossy and her mummy is pretty bossy. So both my girls are kind of bossy, and she thought that if I become a policewoman, I can tell people what to do. You can't park your car there and blah, 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 whatever. So then I had to buy her a book about policewomen, or police, actually, police. So I went to this toy shop, And they had a book about police, and it was very difficult to buy it because I didn't really want to have her in the police. You know, I didn't hope she wasn't going to end up as a policewoman. If there are any police people here, I'm sorry about that. And luckily, I gave her the book, and I don't think she ever really looked at it even.
Mm-hmm.
So I was quite pleased with myself that I bought the book, even though I didn't want to buy the book, and even though I didn't want her to be a policewoman. And now she never talks about being a policewoman.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, that was quite effective, I would say. It worked quite well. And so with both girls, I have very good connection. But for example, we now have another situation because she wants to start learning to play an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an idea of what I'd like her to play, you know. Immediately I thought a violin would be great, you know. She's a sort of violin kind of girl, you know. And I like the violin also. But she doesn't want to, I don't think she's really interested in having a violin. It probably feels a bit difficult. So I don't know what she's going to decide. But this is something which I care about, but I'm not going to be really involving in her decision about. Mm-hmm. So when you would have parents a bit like that, I think you wouldn't have such a strong kind of reaction about anybody who tells you something.
Yeah, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's good that you have a strong thing about it because it shows that you inside, in the end, you have a strong character and you have a strong possibility, and you should respect your own possibility. But also, it's very likely you're saying piss off when you shouldn't be saying piss off.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I was saying to this man, you probably also need a teacher at some point. You're pretty young, so maybe you're not yet ready for that. But at some point you need to find somebody who you can really work with, you know. Mm-hmm. And this is a bit mysterious, you know. If I think about my own teachers, I had 2 living teachers, and now I have a dead teacher. Well, actually, one of my other teachers is dead too. Actually, they're all dead. Oh, yeah, I've had actually, so I've got 3 dead teachers. But luckily, before they died, they did what they had to do with me, and so I got great benefits from them. And now I don't really need them in that way, but they're already, anyway, still inside me. You know, they're very much inside me. Like I've just been doing this book I was talking about. You see, for him, it's his teachings, not my teachings. It's not my book, really. I'm just presenting his teachings to the world because I think they're valuable. And nobody else was doing it, so somehow I did it, or I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think I have to read more.
Well, if you're going to read more, you should try this book because this is very amazing book. You know? But I don't know if you're ready for that. I don't know how much you know about all this stuff.
I think enough.
Hmm?
I think enough.
Okay.
To work.
Okay. With. So I give you a copy of this book. Actually, this is. You probably like it in German, though, do you? This is English, but we have it in German.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody, can you give her a German one? We'll give you a German one. But he's a very, very good guy. So if you don't know about Ramana Maharshi, one thing you could do would be to read about him. There are other books, but I would say this is a very good book. We have a couple of other books, of one of his teachings, and another book we wrote about him. Mm-hmm. So both those books are pretty good. But if you started with this book, that would be enough that you would get very touched by him, I think. I don't know, because you've got your authority issue, so maybe, you know. Best thing you could do with this book is just open it kind of casually. Because some people have told me when they pick up this book and try to read it, after a few pages, their whole body starts shaking.
Okay.
And as you're a kind of Kundalini girl, maybe you'll also start shaking. Your Kundalini will start rushing up and down your spine, you know.
Would be funny.
It'd be nice, yeah, if you could just read a book and you'll start. Put you out of a job, of course. This book could put you out of a job because people won't need to come to you for Kundalini because they just read a few pages and Kundalini starts working. But you're different now than you were when you were here.
Okay.
I would say you're much more present.
Where? Before?
Present, you're more present
Now?
now. Yeah, you're much more now. Before, the general feeling was you're a bit unpresent. You're a bit sort of scatty around.
Maybe here more.
I don't
than
know where
here.
we didn't know where you were, but you weren't here anyway. People felt that. And I would say, talking to you now, you're much more present than I remember you, but I didn't have so much contact with you, I don't think.
It's true.
So this process of offering Kundalini sessions has maybe been very good for you.
I think so. Can feel it. So. Last year it was not easy for me to talk with you in that way and look into your eyes. It was not easy for me to look in anyone's eyes. It was very hard. And now it's very easy.
Yeah? Yeah, well, that says a lot about you being more... What's this flashing going on, actually? Now it's stopped working even. It's a bit horrible. It's maybe something is loose, a loose connection or something. No signal, it says. Maybe we don't mind. We're going to finish soon, so I wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, being able to look in somebody's eyes is actually also a sign of yourself being more present, I would say. And if you probably know when you go around in supermarkets where you're paying money in the supermarket or in a coffee shop or something, nobody can look at you. Nobody looks. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, sure.
Because for me, it's completely easy to look at people, and look in their eyes even. And if I do that when I'm paying for my groceries, they always look away. They suddenly, kind of, other things are more interesting. So it's very difficult for people to look in the eyes of another person. And the effect of looking in your eye or looking into somebody's eye is that it brings you more inside yourself, actually. So that's very effective. A little trick you might like to try is you could sit in front of a big mirror, put the mirror on the floor and sit in front of it and make eye contact with your own eyes. And if you like to try that, you put a candle which flickers a bit. Because otherwise, if you would do it for half an hour or so, you may not know who's in the mirror and who's not in the mirror. Can be a bit freaky. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, maybe that would be something you would like, actually, to do that. Because also your face could disappear. So this is,
I notice it in some meditations with some other people when we look a long time in our eyes, so that the faces are going away or
or
different
you see
forms.
many different faces. You can see like an old face or a young face. Faces can change. And as you're a kind of esoteric lady, it seems, maybe you would enjoy looking in the mirror. It's quite a strong practice, actually. And have you been doing anything else in the last year that would make you more present?
I have a boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend?
And we have a very strong connection.
Right.
And it's...
Is it him?
Yeah.
Hello, boyfriend.
It's like I face myself very often.
Right. So you do a lot of looking at each other's eyes, do you?
Yeah. Maybe it's that.
I mean, I can make another suggestion. I don't know if you'll like this one, but before you make love, you could sit together on the bed, naked, with a sheet over you, and then just have eye contact. you could also touch each other a little bit, but not very actively, but maybe just like a hand, maybe on the heart or something like that, or on the back. This is a very beautiful way to, how can I say, to kind of tune in together before you might become more active together.
Mm-hmm.
Does that appeal to you? You do it already. Oh, there you are. You don't need a teacher. He can be your teacher. He already knows about that. So I think we're going to finish soon. So unless you have something else to talk about, I'll give you some nice flower. I don't know what's left there. What appeals to you? Like these kind of berries? They're kind of cute. But maybe anything that. What about these white flowers? You
Yeah.
like that one?
Right.
That's quite a nice one. Don't need that bit.
Thank you.
I'll give you something for your boyfriend, shall I? Maybe you give him a couple of these. He looks the kind who will like berries, yeah? You like berries? Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much.